Right, so we get that a lot. Maybe someone wants to know what is this DeFi and how decentralized finance, how is it different from traditional finance? So, from my early explanation, there's a lot of differences in DeFi and TradFi. We call it TradFi. The crypto people like shortcuts. So the first thing about DeFi is the removal of intermediaries. So that's one of the major differences why DeFi is from TradFi. So in DeFi, everything runs on a smart contract, whereas in centralized finance, there are intermediaries or even humans involved. I'll give an example for this situation. I'm sure all of us at some point have used banks. No shades on banks though. So you'll get that probably on Friday evening there is an update. There's an update going on. So you get a message that from 11 a.m. to 4 a.m. there will be some updates. So we are sorry you cannot access your money. But in DeFi, there is no such thing. So there's no intermediary. Everything runs on chain and it's seamless. So that's one of the differences of DeFi and TradFi. Another difference that we can also bring into question here that probably maybe I'll go ahead. I'll talk about it. Now the financial aspect in DeFi is purely on chain and it runs on things we call tokens or coins. But in traditional finance, we use what we call fiat. When I say fiat, is the currencies that we use. Like in Kenya, it's called Kenyan shillings. In Uganda, it's Ugandan shillings. In Europe, it's euros. So TradFi uses the fiat currency. But now in the decentralized finance, the currency there is purely on chain. It's the tokens, what we know like Bitcoin, and the other tokens like Ethereum and so many others. So that's also another major difference between DeFi and traditional finance. So DeFi kind of connects the globe to make it like a global village. So you can access it from whatever part of the world you're from without necessarily facing some friction. Like me in Kenya, I can just connect something we call wallet in decentralized finance and transact with you probably in South America seamlessly without necessarily have to wait for some papers or anything. But in traditional finance, there's usually this friction. So if I want to receive money from the US, I have to use a lot of intermediaries and sometimes it's not immediate. It has to pass through points. So I think that's also a major difference between DeFi and TradFi and traditional finance. There are so many, we'll talk about them.
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
The last question. What are the risks associated with decentralized finance?
Yeah, before we go to the risks, I think we need to talk about, can I talk about DeFi broadly or?
Yeah, you can. Feel free. Yes, sir.
Yes, so as I talk about this, we'll also see some of the risk involved. So what happens in decentralized finance, just like I said, these are programmable money. Let me call them programmable money. So because they are being tokenized and then they are brought on chain by smart contracts. So this one actually brings the first risk of DeFi. Some of these currencies run through something called algorithmic or other algorithms. So these DeFi tokens and even the DeFi, they're called dApps, decentralized apps that enable transactions like lending, borrowing, staking. There's something called staking. What in banks, in the terms of banks, where you save your money, then you earn interest. So in DeFi, it's called staking. Liquidity provision, where maybe you have 10 bitcoins, you place it in a pool, and then people can borrow your money, and then they'll return with interest. So all these things happen on chain, and they're written using smart contracts. Now, the major risk involved with this is that when the DeFi protocol or even the decentralized app is not properly audited security-wise, they can be susceptible to hacking. If you're new to crypto, or even if you're not new, I'm sure you've heard of very many crypto hacks. The most famous one was Mount Gox, where some people lost a lot of money. Right now, recently, there is one that is trending. The South African people who put their Bitcoin in a certain, I don't know what it was, but they lost a lot of Bitcoin because they put their Bitcoin somewhere. Then the hackers went away with their money. So hacking is one of the major risks involved with decentralized finance. Last year, when I was talking about algorithms, there was an innovation where I think I have so much to talk about. But anyway, there is something called stable coins in DeFi. So what stable coins does is that they are pegged to the fiat value. So I'll give an example. Like 1 USDT is on 1-to-1 with US dollar. So 1 USDT is equivalent to 1 US dollar. So the reason for this is to curb the volatility that we'll speak of later. So what happened here, there was this person called Dokwon. So what he did, I'm not sure what he did, but the algorithmic stablecoin that he did kind of depegged from the US dollar, from $1. So it hugely plummeted. So you can imagine all the people that were converted probably their savings to the US dollar pegged in Luna lost their value by 99%. So that's one of another risk involved with DeFi. Before I forget the volatility aspect, because I already talked about it. So DeFi has a lot of innovation. So that's why the USDT and the stable coins were brought about to curb volatility. So I'll give an example. In late 2021, there's something called bull run, where the crypto value is spiking. One Bitcoin was trading at $69,000. So probably, yes, I don't have, but maybe someone has 10 Bitcoin. So at that time is $69,000 times 10, that's $690,000. You're very happy. Then fast forward to late 2021, the value plummets to $15,000. So that's another risk involved with DeFi, the steep volatility. So DeFi has volatility, very steep volatility. So at one point you can be a millionaire in dollars, the next minute you're struggling in life. So that's another risk involved with the decentralized finance. Then probably I think this one is also a risk that I should talk about, is it's not user friendly to a total beginner, because I'm sure what I'm speaking about, sometimes maybe someone is new, he will not understand what I'm saying by algorithmic stablecoin, decentralized application, Bitcoin. Someone will ask you, how does Bitcoin have value? Where has it gotten it from? So it's not user friendly. So I think that's also a risk. So I'll use me as an example. So when I got into crypto, I think late 2021, I got involved with things called shitcoins. So me, when I got involved with them, I thought all crypto are like Bitcoin, they will continue skyrocketing. So I bought some shit coins, and then now I started probably imagining how I will own a beach house. So shock on me, they were shit coins, and because I didn't have technical know-how, their value plummeted heavily, and I lost all of my money because I thought they will be like Bitcoin and keep skyrocketing. So that's also another risk. I think people need to constantly learn. Those are the risks involved.
Wow.
That's just a snapshot of the risk involved. Yeah.
Thank you. Wow. Perfect.